I'm excited to have with me accomplished actor, writer. She's actually a voice actor as well, and she's a director. She is a former champion fitness athlete, and she's here today to talk about everything, how she's following a healthy lifestyle to her acting world and her writing and directing. And her name is Tina-Marie Springham. Welcome.
Hi, nice to see you, Christine. Thank you.
Yeah, a long introduction to you. So yeah, so I understand you your passion for acting started when you were 5 years old. Like you started playing with dolls, is that right?
Oh, yeah, it started very, very young. I used to, I think a lot of little girls did, it's the world of make-believe, and kids have an incredible imagination, and I loved to live in that world. So my playtime was imagination, my writing was imagination, my diving into music was imagination. It definitely called me instead of me chasing it. So
Yes, and I didn't even tell the viewers that you're a singer-songwriter as well. So you're so multi-talented and you're good at everything. You know, you like singer-songwriter, made the top 20, top 40. You're a champion of gold medals and just etc. So, I mean, so how did you fall into being a national class athlete? How did that happen?
uh, yeah, that's a great question, and it was a tremendous experience. What I discovered recently after having stepped away from it was a big distraction from the thing I should have been doing. But with that said, I had just returned to Vancouver after living in Los Angeles for almost 12 years. And I literally just stumbled into it. I didn't know anything about figure and fitness competitions other than my previous knowledge of female bodybuilding, which one of my very dear friends, Sharon Bruneau, um, was one of the Canadian champions and went on to become an IFBB pro. She's incredible. I aspired to be like her, and I had a lot of obstacles to overcome if I had ever wanted to be a fitness person way back in the day. And that was my food addiction and my low self-esteem and low confidence. And I was really brutal to myself. So that was in and of itself never going to happen, or at least I had that mindset that it was never going to happen. When I returned to Vancouver, I actually stumbled into a conversation with a coach who said, basically, you are closer than you think. You think this is such a longer, harder journey. That's not to say that it isn't a hard journey. It is. It takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication, but he really helped me discover that I was born with some genetics. Any area that wasn't my strength, we built on that to become stronger. And I stepped on my first competitive stage at, I was just shy of my 42nd birthday, and I ended up placing second. And then the journey kind of took off. I just did another show and another show, and I kept placing in the top two, eventually placing first in overall title, and then made it to nationals a couple of times. And yeah.
Wow. And 12, right? Was it 12? Trophies, like.
Yeah, I think it's 13 altogether
Oh,
in a very short span of time. That's not normally what, and I certainly wouldn't advocate that somebody do that many shows in a span of 5 years, but it was what was unfolding in my life at the time. And I never did a show or a competition just because it was in front of me. I did it because it was the next one to get to the next level, or a couple of times because of health issues I had to requalify. So I did a lot of shows in a short span of time. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I was made of. that I didn't think I was. So again, it was an invaluable experience. And I'm glad I'm not doing it anymore.
Well,
I've found my lane.
yeah, when it's like, do you think, well, sport has helped you, right? Because you have to be so disciplined, so mentally prepared, and to be at that level that you were. I mean, everything you touch is gold. I mean, everything, because everything you do with such passion. And so, but it also takes someone like yourself to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
And that takes strength. And you are testimonial to that. So getting out of that lane and now into the lane of music, right? And then to acting, is that?
Well, music was before I did the fitness. That again was, I stumbled into it, and my intention was, I went down to Los Angeles to be an actress. That's what I've always known I was supposed to do. And
Yes.
I got in my own way. And also some of the influences that I had with people in my life who told me it was never going to happen for a girl from Edmonton. You should just give up. You're too old. I mean, I've heard it all. And there's almost something inside of me that was driving me to go, oh, you're telling me I can't? Well, then watch me go. And that's great to have, except there has to be a point where are you doing, like, your motive, you have to be doing it for the right reasons.
Mhm.
And my intentions were good, but my reasons were, I'll show you. And I feel that sometimes that can be a hindrance to people because it's your ego that gets in the way versus wise decisions and wise choices. And I can look back now and see that if I would have stepped away earlier, I would have saved myself a whole lot of heartache, and perhaps would have grown as an actor or a performer much more quickly. But because I was so, bent on, I'll show you, it really distracted from the growth and the learning and doing the work. So
Yeah.
again, I'm really glad I'm out of that and have gotten past it. Now I'm in it because I love it, and I'm not out to prove anything to anybody. I just want to be a working actor and tell incredible stories and impact people and move people. And I know that that's what I've always was supposed to do. So,
But yeah, but as I said at the beginning, it takes, strength to recognize that and move forward. So you went from the sport lane to the music lane, and you have songs out there. Like, can you tell us? Yeah, I want to hear. The viewers would like to hear this.
yeah, they're out there somewhere. Yeah, and I'm actually entertaining some conversations right now with some artists to resurrect a few of my songs. I'm not looking to be the singer anymore. Again, that was a great chapter in my life, but it definitely was a distraction from my acting. An opportunity stumbled my way that was going to facilitate my work visa, making some money, and it grew legs and took off on a journey of its own. And when that happens, you especially being signed to a label, you kind of have to facilitate it. So I did that, but my focus in the back of my mind was always, this will get me back to acting. This will get me the acting jobs now that I have the work visa. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I love writing. So I'm definitely, like I said, I'm definitely exploring some conversations with some artists right now to either collaborate on new material or to resurrect some of my songs that have never been released, which I'm very happy with. They're like my kids. So, I'm a big believer that if the door is meant to open for that opportunity, it already is. And when everything aligns, then it will be out there soon enough.
Yes, Tina-Marie, it's like transferable skills, right? I mean, you have such a strong skill set, and I want to talk about your acting now. You Broken, Speak, Blue Hour. Do you come from a family of actors?
No, I did not. No, I just, again, ever since I was a little girl, I've just loved make believe. And I had watched, I've told this story before. There's a movie called Bugsy Malone that starred Jodie Foster and Scott Baio, and I'm sure a whole slew of other famous actors but they were kids. And I watched this movie. It's a gangster movie, kind of like Little Rascals, but a gangster movie. And they were shooting whipped cream guns, and they're driving these little, miniature kid cars. And I watched the movie, and I understood what they were doing. They were acting. And I just knew instinctively that's what I want to do. And I was also a huge, huge, huge fan of Carol Burnett. And I watched that show like every day. So I wanted to be her. I don't particularly fancy me being that funny, but it was the idea of what she was doing, making the skits and learning the lines and becoming these characters. And I just have always loved that storytelling.
Yes, and Carol Burnett was one of your influencers, right? So yes. So I like to talk about what you're working on and what you've worked on, like Broken. You play a waitress, is that right? In Broken?
I play a top waitress named Jam in Broken, who was, that movie is written by Laura Buckles and Patrick Phillips. And it's such an ironic full circle project, and is so special to me. As all the projects actually that I've worked on, I really have been blessed with incredible writers and directors. This one in particular, we filmed my part, or most of it, in Edmonton, Alberta, which is where I'm from. And Patrick and I have known each other for pretty much all my adult life. So to know somebody from that far back, to now be working with him on his baby project, and it's a really dear project to him, and we're in our hometown. It was full circle. It was really such an incredible opportunity. There was a lot of healing that happened while I was home for Christmas in 2018, or 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. And and it's interesting that this whole COVID thing, delays for everybody. The delay has actually helped facilitate a lot of meetings coming together for the film and its promotion and its release in the next upcoming months. So we're all really, really excited about the project.
Yes, awesome. And your father, does he play a role in Broken? Is that right?
My brother actually had
your father is in Blue Hour, is that right? I don't.
We got him a little snippet role in Blue Hour. So it was really, again, these, for a multitude of reasons, all of these projects have little special moments and special occurrences that, again, as I reflect back, these were so meant to be. And I've learned life lessons within myself having had these experiences. So, and there's another film, Prof, that we were able to finish filming in January of this year, and not too many people are going to be able to say that they've completed a full-length feature in 2020. So
wow.
Logan Mateve is the writer and director. Ensemble cast, incredible story, dark, funny-ish, dysfunction, life lessons, and just a brilliant project to be a part of. And I almost didn't walk into that audition. I was feeling so low about my life that I was like, why waste their time? Why waste my time? What am I doing? And we laugh about it now. I've told Logan the story, but I almost didn't walk in. And what happened was, as I was about to turn away from the door and leave without going in, someone flew out the door and held it open for me. And they're like, "You're going in, right?" is what they said. And I was like,
now I am.
So, God and the universe just kind of, yeah, you are. So, I'm really grateful, because what an incredible experience that was. And I made some great friends with the cast and crew, and just really special project to be a part of.
Yes, and what's the name of the film, the feature film? Okay, awesome. So when can we see that?
They're all in post. A couple of them are definitely on the end of post, and they're already being submitted to film festivals. So somewhere in the next 4 to 6 to 12 months, all of these films that are in post, I think there's about 6 of them now that I've done between the end of 2018 and this year, that are all going to be kind of coming out in and around the same time, which is what a blessing. So
It's awesome. I read a Blue Hour, and it's about a writer and not taking the blue collar job. I mean, I felt I could relate in some way. And tell us about that one.
that is such a powerful story. And I have yet to ask Jesse, but I have a feeling that this is a very personal story for him. He's the writer director. And it's about Lee, who is faced with this, following his dream and his passion for writing. But he comes from a family of blue collar workers, and his father was in sort of the construction life, and his father before him, and that's just what everyone expected him to do. And they get him a job. So therein lies, well, do I do that to make my family happy, or do I do what is going to make me happy? And he then has to battle people's opinions and his opinion of himself. And then there's other family drama that happens that's weaved in throughout the story. And it's I think a lot of people are going to relate to it, because it doesn't matter what the dream or the passion is, whether it's a writer, actor, doctor, lawyer. It's the push-pull of pleasing others who love you, and they're doing it because they love you. And is it best for you?
Yes.
Right? We're all faced with that, I'm sure.
Yes, and you've taken serious roles, and I mean you've gone to acting school, but how do you, I mean, you studied Carol Burnett, but how do you really prepare for the role? I mean, like, what do you look for in a script? Like, how do you that mindset?
Well, I'm not in a place where I can just pick and choose scripts. So as an actor, you self-submit for projects. You self-submit for roles that you believe that you would fit. Then if you're lucky enough to get called in for an audition, you'll get sides, and you'll get sort of a synopsis of what the story is about. Again, I've been really blessed that all the roles that I have auditioned for and landed were roles that I really felt some sort of personal connection to. On some level, I could relate to the conflict, or I could relate to the resolve of the conflict. And also too, as an actor, you want to try and show the diversity. So there was a period of time where, good Lord, if I did another crying mom role, I'm like so done with crying. So give me something funny, or give me something that's going to challenge me, because I've now discovered that, I can play a great crying mom or grieving woman, but I really wanted something tougher. So there was a couple of times where I submitted myself for a role that was written for a man. And I just said, are you open? I figured the worst they're going to say is no, quit wasting our time, or I just would hear nothing. And I got really lucky, or blessed that 2 of the 3 times I did that, they had me come in. In one case with the film Sterling Road, I auditioned for the lead detective, who was written for a man, and they loved the performance, but the storyline was very clearly written for a really burly guy who was about to retire. But there was a character that was only mentioned in the script, and they had said to me after the fact that you came in with such a compelling take on the character that we felt you fit this other character that we hadn't even written in the script. And then they wrote me in. So that doesn't happen very often, and I was just so grateful and that they believed in me that much. And so I now play this
Wow.
really dark detective, which is a far cry from a crying mom. So,
But you're so driven and so passionate and believe in yourself, and everything you've done is so transferable. Like, you know, you are a testimonial to someone who you go for it, and that's what you're doing. And the next one I want to talk to you about is Speak. That one is very intriguing. Can you tell us about that one?
yeah, another great project, which was a really heavy topic. I don't know whether I want to give too much of it away, but it's about a young Muslim girl who is running for class president, and on the day that she has to give her class president speech or pitch for the students to vote for her, there is a bombing somewhere in the world, and they're blaming Muslim extremists. So it's her perspective on how do I face this, the racism, the stigma. And I play the principal of the school. And when I did the audition, I thought, wow, this is a really relevant topic, story. And I made a really bold choice in the principal's character, Principal Williams. Because it was such a heavy topic, I decided, and I stuck with my decision on, she needs to be the comic relief without making it comedy. So I played her as, I say racist things and I don't even know that that's what I'm doing. That is how oblivious I am to, I'm just happy and I love everybody. And I just don't even know that I don't have this filter. And I knew this was either gonna completely like X me out of the role, or they might go, this is the comic relief we need. And thankfully, Shahid, the writer-director, said, this is what we needed. So I'm really happy to be a part of that. Very
Congratulations. Congratulations. Oh my goodness. So what is next for you?
Oh, booking more roles, that's for sure. You know, COVID's been a blessing and a struggle for everybody. And I really believe that if we've all taken this time to perhaps decompress, rest, reevaluate, ask ourselves some really hard questions. Are you sure you're on the right path? Are you doing everything you can to make your life as best as it can be, personally and professionally? This time, because there hasn't been any auditions, I was doing voiceover, so there was, you know, some work there for me, thankfully. It also really opened up my creative flow again with writing. I also teach kids public speaking and creative writing. So it kind of opened up a door for me to rekindle my love for the written word. And that spawned writing some lyrics. And then that spawned writing a few short stories. And so I'm not sure what I'm doing with it all yet, but the creative flow has been so freeing. And then I signed with a new agent, and then I've been going on auditions. So, you know, it really is just one foot in front of the other, and aligning with everything that comes your way, and then discerning whether or not this is the right door to walk through. And sometimes we don't have that choice. As an actor, you know, you can go, yes, this is the right door. And the director or casting director goes, yeah, no, it's not. So what I know for sure is that at the right moment, at the right time, right place, right face, right line, right role. So
Yes. Well, you know what, you are truly an inspiration, and I had a long intro and you just keep adding what you're doing, and I wish you all the best. I love to check in with you again.
love that.
Tina-Marie.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot to say your name at the very beginning. You went on like, you know, because you're just multi-talented, and so nice to speak with you. And if people want more information, where can they go?
All my social media handles are all Tina-Marie Springham, all one word. My website, Tina-MarieSpringham.com, Facebook, Instagram, all of that good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to thank Nicola Pender for connecting us.
Yes, indeed. Nicola's fantastic.
Yeah, so thank you again, and I can't wait to see your movies, your films, and keep in touch. So
absolutely, Christine. Thank you again for having me on. I really appreciate it.